right, boys, I had to update the top 10 quarterback list. Not only have we had some good legends come out, we've had AKA quarterbacks come out, team of the week quarterbacks come out, and obviously some Harvest Masters as well. This should be a fun all-around list to make. You guys know quarterback is the most probably balanced right now. I think it depends on your play style. There was 4 different quarterbacks used in the MCS, so there is technically no wrong answer. I'm trying to explain that throughout the entire video. You guys will know. It all depends on your play style. Don't let me tell you which one is all the way the best. Like I said, this is the best year Madden has ever balanced the quarterbacks. There's no wrong answer. If it works for you, it works for you. I'm trying to help and guide in the best way I possibly can. But other than that, if you guys enjoy top 10s like this, they're a little bit easier to make on other positions. Make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. I also do gameplays in the new cards, and we are pushing for 40,000 subscribers. But other than that, let's get right into number 10. If you are looking for cheap, fast Madden coins to build that God Squad you always wanted, head over to my sponsor, EasyMut, and use code CHEW for 5% off your order. The link is in the description. Number 10, we got our guy, Danger Russ. Remember, I do a gameplay on all these cards as well. You can go ahead and look at all of them. I think literally 10 for 10, every single person on this list, I have a gameplay on. So if you're wondering about a card, picking them up, it is there for you if you want to check them out. Danger Russ comes with his own release, traditional 5 in the game, and this is a release that I think it's meh. It's okay, I guess. It wasn't terrible. I think a lot of these releases are just middle of the pack. There's obviously some good ones on this list, as we'll be talking about later on. But Danger Russ, obviously good card all around stat-wise. Good accuracies across the board, all above 90. But as you guys know, the only thing that truly matters on quarterback this year is probably speed, release, and abilities. And obviously in the order I would probably go is abilities, then release, then speed. In Danger Russ, obviously no good abilities on this card. He only has 3 buckets, only gets Gunslinger, and the only thing really cool about him is that he gets the run and gun X Factor, but I just don't even think that's worth it over the other quarterbacks above him. But still, an all-around good card. He actually beat out a couple guys like Dak Prescott for this number 10 spot. Moving over to number 9, we got Joshua Dobbs, and I kind of group a lot of these quarterbacks in the same spot. As you guys know, there's one release in the game that they usually give to players if they just don't know what to give them. It's the generic 2 release, which was previously generic 3 last year. It's the most basic release in the game. Justin Fields has it, Jalen Hurts has it, Joshua Dobbs has it, Dak Prescott has it. They give it to literally everybody. And Dobbs, I would say, out of that group of quarterbacks, he's probably the best one, right? He is the fastest, tied for the fastest quarterback in the game at 91 speed, which is absolutely insane. He has 90 throw power, 90 throw on the run, 90 throw under pressure, 90 play action. They actually juice Josh Dobbs, but I just can't move him too much high because, like I said, middle of the pack release, and just like our guy Russ, no crazy abilities. The only thing he gets anything cool is Gunslinger, but you got to remember the elite quarterbacks in the game right now are getting that with another elite ability. Sadly, these 91s still got cheated unless they were a legend card, and yeah, Dobbs, man, I wish he was a little bit better ability-wise because it would have been cool to use this card in the long term, man. Now moving over to number 8, I will say this is one of the more crazier pools on this list. As you guys know in this game, like I said, release and abilities. The guys I just showed you guys don't have any good abilities. Or let me say, they don't have any abilities different than Andrew Luck, who came out months ago, right? Andrew Luck, as you guys know, has the best release in the game, the Lamar Jackson release. He was the guy everybody had. He was a million coins there for 2 weeks. He's still very good because you got to remember, even stat-wise, if you're hitting your thresholds, as long as those all those accuracies are above 85, you'll be completely fine. He still has 90 throwing the pressure, 91 throwing the run. He is still, I would still take him over Dobbs and all these other guys like Dak and Russ every single day just because of the release, and he gets the exact same abilities as those guys. You're not going to really be missing much. The only thing you can really compare is he's a little bit slower in the accuracies, but like I said, if you've been playing Madden for more than a month, you probably already know by now. As long as he's hit his thresholds, he's not going to be missing throws like crazy. Andrew Luck, it sucks to say that those cards that are 91s aren't much better, but yeah, I got to lean him here. So moving over to number 7, I do have Kurt Warner, and I will say this dude is pretty good, only for reasons why. As you guys know, he also gets the Josh Dobbs release, so that middle of the pack release, like I said, they give to everybody. But the reason why Kurt Warner's here, despite being a statue quarterback in the game, is that he actually gets a 4th bucket. It's weird how they just pick and choose who gets 4th buckets in this game, but it is what it is. Moving over, he does get either Hot Route Master or Set Feet Lead, but as you guys know, he is kind of harder to use. I think this release is really known for being one of the best ones on the run. That's why guys like Josh Dobbs. That's why guys like Justin Fields in the game, right? But Kurt Warner, being a statue quarterback, you're really basing your talents off that Cephii lead or your ability with Howard Master, which Howard Master, I will say, is a good ability, but it's limited by your skill gap. It has nothing to do with the card alone. It is all you and what you can manipulate with your brain. But Kurt Warner right here, he's going to hold you back, I think, compared to other Cephii lead / Howard Master cards in the game. game because he just has a bad release and he is a statue. But at the end of the day, he is still better than others because those abilities are so broken, man. If you could perfect Tower Master, you're unstoppable. If you can, I will say Sephi Elite, that bails out some very bad reads in this game because how much zip has on it. And Kurt Warner, even with the bad release, can still get some crazy balls with him. Moving over to number 6, Joe Montana. As you guys know, like I mentioned in the intro, there was 4 quarterbacks used in the Final Four of the MCS. Joe Montana was one of the 4. Not only was he just one of the 4, the guy who won the entire tournament, so technically the best player right now, I guess you could say, in quotations in Mark, because obviously Henry's still goated. Joe Montana is the guy he won it with, which is absolutely ridiculous, right? 77 speed on him. He has 90 throw power. The accuracies are still okay. Like I said, as long as you're above 85, you're fine. And that proves it right there too. Like I said, as long as it's above 85, it proves it. We just watched somebody beat the best player in the world by I think like 20 plus with Joe Montana at quarterback. You can use all these cards. That's why I'm saying these is the most balanced Madden I've ever played. And he obviously, Joe Montana, just a little bit faster. He also does get traditional 1, which I do prefer a tiny bit more than generic 2, which was the release we just showed on Kurt Warner. But the one thing is with him, you're not getting Sephi lead. You're getting Howard Master and Gunslinger, which is still a good combo. But I would prefer Joe Montana only because he's a little bit more mobile. And also, I like the release just a smidge bit more. At number 5, we have CJ Stroud, and as you guys know, he kind of gets that release that everybody at the beginning of the year, there was a chart that came out on Mutt Leaks, which is a very popular leaker on Twitter, and he had this release ranked as the #1 release in the game. It's still very good. It's not the Lamar Jackson release, as we all come to know. That is the best one in the game. This is probably the second best release in the game, the Joe Burrow release, whatever you want to call it. CJ Stroud does end up getting it. He is 88 speed in the game, 90 throw power. The accuracies are all really solid as well. 92 throw under pressure. The throw and the run, obviously, we wish to be a little bit better, especially on an 88 speed player. But the thing with CJ Stroud, like I said, kind of with Andrew Luck earlier, I know he doesn't get any crazy abilities. No Sephi lead, no Howard Master, but I do prefer him just because his release is so good. He is just another one of those only gunslinger guys, which ends up tanking him. If this dude had better abilities, he'd be a top 2, top 3 quarterback in the game. But as you guys know, I've been saying it. They don't want to give us a fast, good release quarterback with broken abilities yet. They're holding that, obviously, for maybe team diamonds or maybe even for endgame quarterbacks, because right now we're getting a little bit of that slow pace. CJ Stroud, though, still a very good card if you don't need any crazy, Howard Master or Sephi lead. Number 4, we got our good pal, Lamar Jackson. This is the card that you guys know until yesterday. So literally yesterday, until you guys probably just ruined the video for you. But until that guy came out, this is who we were using every single day. I know I still have him at 4, but like I said, I think playstyle-wise, Lamar fits into so many teams. He obviously is just a guy like CJ Stroud where he's not getting any crazy ability besides Gunslinger. And yes, you can remove this, as most of you guys know by now. But Lamar Jackson gets the best release in the game, and he is tied for the fastest quarterback in the game with our guy, Joshua Dobbs. Yeah, it's insane, man. I imagine Lamar Jackson with Sephi lead or even Howard Master. He would be by far the best quarterback in the game. And it's crazy, even with bad abilities, he is still in the top 5 because how good his release is and also speed combination. I think Lamar Jackson, for the average Madden player that doesn't need Howard Master, or even a guy that's already succeeding on offense, this is the best option. If you don't need Sephi lead, Lamar Jackson is amazing, and he's also really cheap right now. 160K for a top 5 quarterback. Yeah, nobody should be using RG3. I'm telling you, if you're ever playing Madden, your no money spent, one position you should splurge on. It's quarterback. And this is not even a splurge. You can get 160K by just grinding just a tiny bit. Lamar will help your team that much, man. Moving over to number 3, we got Mr. Warren Moon himself. And this card had potential to be one of the best, or if not the best card in the game. He was one of the contenders in the top 4. Like I said, there was 4 different quarterbacks there. Warren Moon was actually one of them. It was Lamar, Warren Moon, and also, who did I say earlier? Joe Montana. One more is left on this list. But Warren Moon, obviously, there's one thing about him, right? He has one of the worst releases in the game. His short right is really, really bad, and his medium right is really, 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 really bad. The thing with Warren Moon, though, is he is now the fastest Howard Master quarterback in the game. People love speed. People love Howard Master. He gets both of them, and he obviously gets good stats across the board. He is very, very good. Obviously, he's tanked in price because somebody else came out, but Warren Moon, man, this card, I don't know how I feel about him. I think if you can get around not throwing to your short right and medium right too bad, it's not that bad. But like I said, for me and my offense, maybe it hurts me a little bit more. But I've seen a lot of people perfect Warren Moon and even prefer him over the next two guys we have on this list. Moving over to number 2, we got Troy Aikman. And Troy Aikman, another statue quarterback. But I do say, I will say Troy Aikman is one that I definitely did like a little bit more when we compare to Kurt Warner. Obviously, I think the releases are very, like, you know, intangible or whatever you want to say, preference, I guess you could say. I don't know why I said intangible, but Troy Aikman was being used by Henry, which a lot of people will crown as the best Madden player ever. He is a good card. He is an amazing card. He gets Seffi Elite, Hour Master, obviously Gunslinger stacked with either of those abilities. He has great stats across the board, 92 throw power too, which is ridiculous, 92 throw under pressure. I think if you're a guy that could sit in the pocket and dot, this is a perfect option. And also a cool thing about him as well is that you can use Hour Master as your X Factor as well. So if you're going Seffi Elite, if you're good enough, I will say if you're playing a good player, don't even think about, like, you're not getting this. I'm gonna be honest. If you're playing a good player, this never lights up. If you're playing a game where you're just dotting all the way though, you could have Hour Master, Seffi Elite, and also Gunslinger all lit up at once, and Troy Aikman just becomes an absolute god at that point. Like I said, it's a little bit hard to do that against anybody with a decent defense out there, but the possibility of it makes it Troy Aikman just that much more of an elite card. Moving over to number 1, we have Mr. Pat Mahomes. So I've had a lot of questions on him. I know a lot of people in the gameplay video were commenting that they weren't the biggest fan of the release, but I've also seen a lot of people say they love it as well. I will say Pat Mahomes his card felt super inconsistent. So even in the video, the gameplay video we posted yesterday, his short right on the first throw of the video was awful. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. It was like Warren Moon throw, right? But then later in the video, I threw the same exact throw and it was so fast. It made absolutely no sense. But I've gotten more of the fast one than I've gotten the slow. The thing I love about Pat Mahomes, though, is he is the fastest Seffi lead guy in the game. So we went from statue Seffi leads like Kurt Warner and also Troy Aikman to now 80 speed, which isn't the fastest, but it's definitely movable, right? Kind of like how Joe Montana's situation was. He also has 94 throw power, which is ridiculous as a base. And then obviously great stats across the board. Pat Mahomes is a dog, man. You can get your Hot Rod Master too if you really wanted that. You can get your Seffi lead. I think this is one of the better Pat Mahomes cards we've seen yet. Like I said, a lot of mixed opinions on him. I think you can use him if you really do like Seffi lead. I think he's the best option there. But if you're Howard Master, I could see you going Warren Moon if you like that a little bit more. But I don't know, man. I think Pat Mahomes is the guy right now in the game if I had to personally choose. All right, boys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to comment down below which cards are you using right now at quarterback. I don't know why I said cards. Card are you using at quarterback? Maybe you have a 2-quarterback system. I don't know, man. I am currently using Pat Mahomes on that Harvest theme team. We posted that video early if you want to check that out. But at the end of the day, man, I hope you guys enjoyed and hope to see you guys in the videos tomorrow. We got some legends. I don't know who they are, but hopefully they're fire, man. I'll see you guys there. Peace out, boys.